Good afternoon, it's Melissa, Mother Lover for Life, 100% coming to you from the library underneath the pine trees. I hope all of you are having a good day, deciding to focus on something positive and getting out in nature and enjoying this beautiful weather we're having. Today I'm going to be doing the Sacred Path cards again. I'll be doing the Sacred Mountain spread today. The Sacred Mountain is a place of inner knowing and proper perspective. The sacred mountain of all our ancestors is not a physical place. It's a place of balance that exists within the sacred space of each individual. To reach this place of wisdom and enlightenment, balanced with faith, trust, innocence, and courage, you must climb the mountains and the hills of your own limitations and conquer the fears that keep you from knowing. When the challenges are many and the path is crooked, you may feel confused or temporarily lost. In such times, the Sacred Mountain spread is the tool that will aid you in seeing the truth from the perspective of the eagle. In freedom and from above, the overall significance is clearly put into perspective. This spread is what I call a working spread, because you must climb to the top using your own courage and strength rather than being carried by someone else. If the going is getting tough and you're willing to confront the limitations you've set in your own path, then this is the spread to use. The first four cards represent the area of creativity where you have set limitation or denial. The Sacred Mountain card is the reward at the end of the climb, or the gift you will attain by completing the journey. So this is a 5-card spread. The middle card, or the 5th card, is the gift, and that's the lesson needed to find personal freedom. So this is an internal journey. I'm going to go ahead and shuffle these cards and go ahead and get started. Thank you for tuning into my channel. I hope it's been helpful for all of you as much as it has been beneficial for me. And hopefully you could find these cards online and do this on your own if you like, and share your experience and how they're working for you with me, and let me know if it's a good tool for you under the comments or whatever. I'm new at this YouTube stuff, so I don't really understand a whole lot of it yet. I'm still learning. So after the card reading, please like, subscribe, and share, and let me know how I could improve these videos or what you'd like to see. I'm basically just sharing my experience that I'm having right now to the best of my ability. So alright, so we'll go ahead and draw 5 cards and see what great mystery and great spirit I have to share with us today. And I just ask the angels and ascended masters, great mystery, great spirit, Jesus Christ, Mother Mary Magdalene, to help me be a pure light of love and kindness and joy and abundance and peace, to share a message with people to help them find beauty in this lifetime and how to attain some sort of peace within a world that's kind of unsettled. So thank you. One, oops. 2, 3, 4, 5. So the first card appears in the east and signifies the lesson needed to remove present limitation. This is the place of the golden door that leads to all other levels of awareness. No matter what card appears in this position, you are being asked to look at what you feel you cannot achieve in this card's lesson. Hence, your limitation is made clear for you. So this is the lesson needed to remove present limitation. And sacred space, respect. So sacred space is your home, your body. Sometimes, I put up walls, and maybe, I don't know, I've been disrespectful to myself and others unintentionally, or I give off mixed signals. But I'm learning to pay more attention to my behaviors that produce different behaviors in others. Great Mystery, teach me to honor the laws of sacred space, the customs and traditions of every creed and race. Great Mystery, teach me to develop the talents that I own and behave with reverence in another's home. Great Mystery, teach the child in me to accept with grace the part of sacred mystery found in every space. The idea of sacred space has been one of the foundations of Native American philosophy throughout time. We see all life forms as having their own medicine wheel or life cycles. Two-leggeds also have a personal space that, if respected, becomes sacred. So, defining our boundaries is important. For instance, if we have a house guest and we don't give the ground rules we expect to be maintained in our home, we will certainly be angry if unspoken rules are broken. The anger is usually at ourselves for not discussing the ground rules in the beginning. The damage done to a child when his or her sacred space is invaded at an early age may require a lifelong healing process. This damage can be created through physical or emotional abuse, the destruction of belongings, the refusal to allow a child an opinion, favoritism over one child over another by parents, not honoring the child's freedom of choice when selecting clothes or toys, neglect, or constant mother smothering. These instances teach a child through example that nobody is to be respected, and in turn, that child may become self-destructive. When a child believes that his or her space or belongings and persona are not held in high regard by others, he or she often carries the legacy of abuse into future life situations and relationships. One of the most important elements in instilling the understanding of sacred space is to allow children to develop the talents they have through posing questions that will allow them to think for themselves. The time is now, and the power is in understanding the validity of each life form's right to life. The Sacred Space card insists on respect for the possessions, ideas, homes, and persons of others. This also applies to demanding it for the self. Mark your territory, respect yourself so that others will see that reflection in themselves and how they deal with you. Be willing to say no. Sacred space means that you consider your body, your feelings, and your possessions sacred and will not allow others to abuse them. Only invite those who have earned the right into your sacred space. You are the one who sets up how other people treat you through how you treat yourself. In all cases, the respect you show yourself and other life forms determines how you relate to the planetary family. If you allow others to be destructive in your sacred space on some level, you don't have the guts to be disliked. It is not important to be liked by others, but it is important to be able to live with yourself. Happiness begins within. So, it's often been hard for me to put up those boundaries because I grew up in a home where my sacred space wasn't respected. So, unfortunately, I learned to not respect other people's sacred space, and I didn't really grow up with boundaries, which made it really, really hard to function as a grown adult, and have relationships and be able to communicate properly and be able to respect my own sacred space, my body, due to molestation and some things that happened to me as a child, and my parents and family members not really understanding how to process that and not really being emotionally available to help me heal from those things and grow. and love myself anyway, I kind of learned a not so healthy way of um, not respecting myself and allowing others to invade my boundaries and not saying anything, because that's what went on in my family on a daily basis. My boundaries were invaded, my personal sore spots were poked on a daily basis, and um, I didn't get a sacred space, and that's really hard to function in life. Actually, you don't. You completely are dysfunctional. So I had to learn that hard lesson as an adult woman, and try to grow up emotionally, you know, um, at 40 for something that happened when I was 7. It's really hard to be that little girl crying out and be 40 years old and nobody understanding that. You're being triggered and you are that wounded little girl at times, when you're triggered. So knowing myself has helped me learn how to respect myself, my sacred space, my body, and who I allow into that space. And sometimes it is hard to say no because you hurt people's feelings and you don't mean to. But sometimes people don't like to hear no, and that's tough shit. Get over it. you know? I have just as much right to my sacred space as they do to theirs. And I have feelings today, and that's okay. I deserve a right to have feelings. And so do you. So I'm trying to learn from that mistake, not respecting myself. It was a very hard lesson learned. So I removed the present limitation of, the lack of respect that I had for myself that, trickled out onto others when I was at my sickest points in my addiction and mental illness. And, my life falling to the shitter. Number 2. The second card appears in the South and represents the lesson needed to restore your trust. The South card is also where you limit the faith you once had as a child, where you need to handle your ego, or where you need to heal the hurt of being betrayed after you trusted. The second card may also reveal if you have become a whining childlike victim instead of the courageous child that saw the world as an adventure. So, change, rites of passage, 21. Yeah. So, that was a really hard thing. I had to change me and how I looked at life and myself, because at times through this journey I couldn't even trust myself. So how could I expect somebody else to trust me if I wasn't trustworthy, and I couldn't even be honest with myself, and sometimes it just, even being honest, you feel like you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. And even though you're going through the rites of passage and you're changing like that, people are still giving you shit about it, and they can't take your honesty, but they can't take the, and so then you're like, oh shit, should I just lie to them to save their feelings? Or, and that's a really difficult thing to struggle with for me. Because then I just start to, I limit my faith, and life isn't fun anymore when I can't trust myself and others, and then I become the whiny victim. I don't take responsibility for, the things and the choices that I made in my past that led me down a road of difficult lessons. Sometimes the choices of others leave us in precarious positions, and we have to roll with it and do the best we can. And unfortunately, we're all a little sick. Some of us more than others, at certain times in our life. And being betrayed after you have trusted is so hard, and I've been on both sides of it, just like everybody else has. Either way, it sucks. So that's where you learn forgiveness, and to trust people that, will hold your sacred heart and love you no matter what, through the shit. Even when you're looking like a dumbass and acting like a dumbass and trying to change but having a hard time changing, they're going to love you anyway. Those are the people that I want in my life, and that's the type of person I want to be for others. So I'm grateful that I have went through some difficult rites of passage and been able to change the way that I look at myself and others, and try to restore the faith that I have in myself and the human race. Because none of us are perfect. We're all changing. The changes of many winters mark the cycles of the wheel. The lines across my ancient face show all that I can feel. The nature of my passage remains a mystery, for in my heart of hearts I hold my destiny. When I was but an infant in the beginning of time, I marveled at the wonder of discoveries I did find. Now that I am ancient, I have learned once again that the weight of every winter brings discovery like a friend. So it refers to the changes from birth to childhood to adulthood, or passing from life to spirit world. The exceptions to this rule are the rites of passage that occur in certain medicine societies when a member is being initiated into the mysteries of new levels of awareness. These new levels of understanding and spiritual knowledge are opened only to those who have earned the right through the way they live their lives. To have earned the right to pass through the golden door that leads to all other levels of imagination and awareness involves many years of proven good conduct, demonstration of spiritual gifts, as well as the willingness of elders to pass down that kind of medicine. In all traditions, each woman, as a mother of the creative force, is called upon to nurture children, the feeble and the ill of health, the elders, the warrior at her side, as well as to nurture the dreams of the people. Native women are held in high regard because they follow the path of beauty. The sacred path is one of loyalty, compassion for others, hospitality, sharing a sense of family, use and development of personal talents, discretion, inner strength, marital fidelity, and selflessness balanced with a good appreciation of self. So the rites of passage marks a time of momentous change in life. If you have drawn this card, you're being asked to make note of the growth and change that is occurring, because it will shape your future. The changes may be small or gradual, but you are changing. The changes may be drastic and earth-shaking, leaving a sense of confusion, but each one is benefiting your growth in some manner. The rites of passage card can also speak of a need for a change if you have lost the magic and spontaneity in your life. Only you can make the decision to change the doldrums to excitement. If this decision is made, be ready to fly like eagle and experience the new freedoms those changes can bring. In all cases, change is key. Remember, if the moment you are experiencing is not beautiful, recreate it, and you will have initiated your own rites of passage. The third card appears in the West. This is the lesson to find personal truths, and it implies that there is a limitation you have put on yourself regarding your ability to know what's right for you. So, records and knowing revealed, stone people. Record holders of the earth, will you please explain the history that gave us birth, the truth you do contain, like cousins of the seas, the shells that let us hear. Sacred whispers are the key to the history we hold dear. Stone people will hear you, teach us the ancient ways, so we may build a future based on prayer and praise. Nothing is ever put in our paths without reason. When we are attracted to a certain rock and we pick that stone person up, it has a lesson for us. The language of stones is a personal recovery, and it's different for each individual since we all have unique tastes. Every lesson of how to live in harmony on the earth can be learned through connecting to the stone people. The stone people mark a time in which knowing will be revealed to you. Your personal records are held by these libraries of rock. In all cases, the stone people card asks you to open your mind because a new understanding is coming your way. This knowledge is based on earth records and may change the way in which you view life. These ancient friends are the oldest earth children on earth and only ask you to stop and listen. So I'm going to stop and listen and see, so I don't limit the knowing that I have and to know what's right for me. Because sometimes I get conflicted when I allow others to tell me what they think is right for me. It gets muddled in with my own intuition and gut feelings, and then I sacrifice my own happiness because I don't want to disappoint or hurt somebody's feelings, and ultimately it ends up hurting us both because then I'm just not being true to myself and I'm denying who I truly am in my authentic self. And they're imposing on my ability to be myself, and I'm not allowing them to their ability to be self-reliant, because ultimately we know deep inside what's best for us, or what makes us happy, or what makes us feel good, or whether this feels right or whether this feels wrong. If I feel anxiety and sickness when I'm around this person, I probably shouldn't be around them, or I need to go get grounded before I hang out with them. And it's taken a lot of, self-torturing and being around, relationships that didn't necessarily make me feel good, to recognize my own knowing what is right for me. That it forced me to grow. The fourth card is the North card, and it represents the lesson that will assist you in acknowledging your personal talents and gifts. If you're taking your personal talents, gifts, and abilities and material possessions for granted, you may be limiting the future gifts from the field of plenty because you shun the beauty of the ones you have. Acknowledge personal gifts and talents, and I am acknowledging my personal gifts and talents, and I'm trying to share the things that I've learned with you in order to verbalize and acknowledge the gifts and talents that I have and the wisdom that I have found, and the peace. And I used to be a very anxious, very wound up tight person. So anxiety so bad, I made it hard just to leave the house sometimes, and connecting with Earth Mother seems to help me so much. And then I can connect back with the field of plenty, and I'm able to recognize my gifts and talents because I slow down and I get centered, and it calms me and soothes me connecting with Earth Mother. And that's when I experience the ritual of joy. And when I can connect to Earth Mother and experience this hour of power, no matter what time of the day I do it, because sometimes life gets busy, and I don't get to do everything because not everything goes my way, and you have to readjust your schedules and try not to get bent out of shape about it. But I am getting this hour of power in today because I am making a change and deciding to put myself and how I connect with Earth Mother and share my experience as an important key to being well in my life. And I'm acknowledging my talents and gifts, so I don't limit the gifts from the field of plenty like I have in my past by not feeling worthy enough to receive them. I was basically telling Great Mystery, I don't deserve this, I'm not good enough, and just smacking my, goodness out of Great Mystery's hand, saying, I don't want that, I'm not worthy, and, you won't receive your blessings. Unfortunately, that's the way energy works. And, as long as I can try to continue to be truthful about what's going on in my journey, whether, I make a mistake or make a bad choice and fall off the path again, it makes no difference as long as I get back on the sacred path and continue sharing my truth and be my authentic self and learn something from the things or the mistakes that I have made. You know, no matter what, I love myself and Great Mystery loves me. The fifth card is the lesson needed to find personal freedom. So, the place of inner knowing, balanced high on top of Sacred Mountain, is now accessible because you have confronted your fear and self-limitation. Now it is time to bask in the beauty of unlimited view. So, decisions. Council Fire, 24. So, in order to get personal freedom, I have to make a decision to choose me and to connect with Earth Mother every day to keep myself feeling well. And sometimes I feel selfish for having to demand that time, but it's the healthiest thing for me to do right now. And I make a decision to do this every day, you know, because in my past I don't think I've ever really stuck with anything and stayed committed to something. And so today I'm going to commit to myself and my continued growth on this journey on the sacred path. Elders gathered the fire of wisdom's light, words, decisions, conclusions all through the night. It is an ancient Native American custom to call a council fire when decisions need to be made that affect the whole tribe or nation. To sit on any council as a representative of the people, a person would have to have proven through example that he or she was worthy of that honor. Many years of being truthful, brave, compassionate, sharing, a good listener, a fair judge, a discreet counselor, and an honored tribal member went into the making of council chiefs. The council fires remind Native people that our destiny is determined by those whom we trust, who have walked the earth and gathered much knowledge in their lives. When they speak of the elders, it is with great reverence because the elders have proven the value of their wisdom through guiding each nation with selfless courage and wisdom. Every council is ended with a prayer of gratitude and a meal or feast, depending on the purpose of the meeting. If you've been waffling over what to do next, the council fire card is insisting that you make a decision. There could be no forward movement if you fail to decide which trail will lead you out of the swamp and into the forest. It takes courage to make changes in your life, and all changes must begin with a decision. Do it and don't look back. Life awaits you in all of its beauty. If the decision of another has left you in a precarious position, make new decisions of your own. There is no need to make your decision based upon another's. Consider all possibilities and how your decisions affect others. Then be courageous enough to act. Find your truth and stick to it. And so that's what I'm doing. This is my truth and I am sticking to it. And I'm honoring myself by doing that. My ability to say no and respect myself and to go within and realize that in showing others that I respect myself, you know, hopefully they will in turn respect themselves and mirror that to others. And that's the example that I want to be in my life, you know, especially in my child's life. I want to be a mother that expresses truth and the ability to speak truth even when it hurts and look at myself in a very truthful way and have a healthy self-evaluation so that I continue to grow. Otherwise, I don't have anything to teach my child, and I want to continue growing as a woman and as a mother and a friend and a daughter, and so I'm going to continue loving myself. And I hope all of you can enjoy some beauty in your day and connect to Great Mystery, get out in nature and do something to nurture and love yourself and make a decision to, you know, have a sacred space and demand respect for yourself. That's what I'm having to do, and it's very empowering. And I hope you have a beautiful, blessed day. Thank you. Please like, subscribe, and share, and comment if you found this message helpful. Thank you. Peace. Mother Lover out.